Good evening, traders. How you doing? Gonna do a quick tutorial on how I use Vinnie's cheat code. Pretty awesome trading system that Vinnie created. I always start off with Forex Factory because we need to understand the fundamentals of what's happening in the news. So we need to find out if there's economic data happening. So this week is the week of August 24. Tomorrow will be Tuesday. We got some red folder news coming out, CAD and Australian dollar. So if you're holding these pairs, you want to make sure that if you have any open positions, you want to make sure you close them. If you're trading a prop firm, know your prop firm company's rules, whether or not you're allowed to trade during news. Otherwise, you might breach your prop firm account. All right, so that going forward, hop onto my trading view. I'm going to be looking at Euro AUD. So Euro AUD, I always start off either the monthly or the weekly. So looking at the weekly here, so what I'm looking at is the most closest price action. So I'm looking at from here to there. Okay, so each of these candles represents a week of data. So that's a lot of information on that candle there. So this is creating higher highs and higher lows. You already can visualize that looking from here. Okay, so as we look at this, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So a very bullish weekly chart. Okay, let's go ahead and remove this out. Okay, so our first bias is to buy on the weekly chart. Hop onto the daily, then I'll go in and do a better look at what's going on. Are we still seeing bullish structure? Yes, we do. So there's many ways to see if it's bullish. You could use exponential moving average or structure. So when you look at this here, okay, it is bullish. And why do I say that? Oh, but the candles are going down. Okay, so in order for it to become a bearish move, there needs to be a break of structure. So I had this candles here go below this, that would have been a break of structure indicating a lower low. Okay, so what follows a lower low is a higher low. Okay, but because it did not break structure, so this did not go below this area from here all the way to here, so this giant rectangle, let's remove this here. So this area, all of that, okay, that's called internal structure. Okay, so what that means is all of this price action that's going in here, it's happening inside of this higher low and higher high. Okay, so believe it or not, whatever is happening in here is all bullish. Okay, you guys need to try to understand that. Okay, so on the daily is bullish, on the 4 hour, on the weekly is bullish, right? So now we're gonna drop down to the 4 hour. Okay. All right, on the 4 hour, I'm looking at here. Okay, I'm zooming out and then looking at it. So what do we see on the 4 hour? Okay, so I see a low here. All right, here's a low, right? And then it's consolidating, and then what do we see here? See that? And goes look all the way across. Okay, so that is a break of structure. Okay, so what that means, let me draw a ray from here, because this price action here broke above this line, this is considered break of structure. So now, because this is a higher high, okay, it goes higher than this higher high. So this here is a higher high now. So what does this make it? A higher low, right? So this is still bullish. Okay, you guys see that? Okay. You could also make a case though, but saying, hey, you know, there's a break of structure right over here. Doesn't that make it a lower? Is it a break of structure? Now this becomes a lower low. Yes, you can. So I like to look at it as a bullish trend. Okay, so there might be some variations, but to me, because it did not broke below this area right here, okay, because it didn't broke below this area right here, this is not a this is not a bearish trend. Okay, it didn't break below this area, right? So to me, on the 4-hour, it's still bullish. All right, so I'm gonna share with you guys this trade that I found, and I shared it in my group, and I think this is my A+ setup using Vinnie's cheat code. All right, so when you have Vinnie's cheat code, you have multiple indicators in there. Okay, so let me just share those with you. Okay. So the first cheat code, first indicator that you have once you buy the system is called the cheat code. Okay. So what the cheat code shows is buys, CC buys, and CC sells. So when you see these here, that's an indicator to look for buys in the market. All right. So that's one of the indicators. Okay. The second indicator, which I think is the most fantastic of Vinnie's system, is the HPS screener. Okay. Okay, it's kind of loading. Okay, it might not show on my screen, but on another one, the other indicator that's on here, it's called the trend indicator. Okay, so trend indicator are these lines right over here. So these lines are showing a short-term trend, which is these dotted lines here, and then a long-term trend. Okay, so I know on a 4-hour it's showing that it's bullish, and on the higher time frame it's also bullish. If I go on the daily, yeah, it's also bullish. You see those two lines, and on the weekly it's even more bullish, right? So that's how you can see. And when I zoom out, then you can kind of see how strong this bullish market is for Euro AUD. All right, so I'm gonna share with you guys what I saw this past day on the cheat code. So I got this, which is to me my A+ setup using Vinnie's cheat code. So what I see here on the far right, I had a green. Euro AUD means buy, so I know what pair to trade. Then on the chart, if you look at it closely, there's H4, H1, H4, D. So those are support and resistance levels. Okay. So there was a CC buy at the H4 support. Okay. So I got Euro AUD pair. I got a CC buy, and I got a target at respecting H4 resistance. I mean support. Excuse me. And the last confirmation I'm using is these trend lines. So the dotted trend line and the solid red and blue all suggest that this is a buy opportunity. Alright, so the results of this trade was, so it was a pretty good trading day on Euro AUD. And this was just for the one trade. It was almost 369. This is not a whole. It's a little bit more than, about less than 2 lots, or maybe around 2 lots, size. So it yielded a pretty good profit. All right. So when I use the cheat code, I only use it as a confluence. Okay, so for myself and how I trade, I need to understand market structure, and I need to see what the market's doing. Okay, so I need to be able to see where higher highs and lows are. I need to be able to know where supply and demand zones are, so I can manually mark them up. Okay, so that's how I read the market. From then, I pop on the cheat code, and it just gives me additional confluence to take the trade. Okay, so you will never get an exact entry point, but I am confident when I look at the cheat code based on my understanding of market structure and my understanding of using the cheat code, that I'm confident I can take a buy and hold that position. Usually when I get all of these confirmations all in a row, this is my A+ setup. Then I go into my MT4, MT5, and there's 2 more indicators on there that I use for my entries, but I'm not going to share that now. But suffice to say, it is working pretty well for me. So again, if you want to have access to this indicator, Vinnie's CheatCode System, please look at the comments and check on it. And hope you guys like this video and understand how Vinnie's CheatCode System works. And honestly, this is the greatest cheat code trading indicator that I've seen so far. Any questions? Leave a comment, give me a like and subscribe, and hopefully this kind of gave you some understanding on how I trade. Okay, thanks for watching.